Welcome to Dealer Elite Business Edition. I am your host, Hayden Craddolph, and I have Sarah here with me from Kutztown University, all the way from Pennsylvania. Hey, Sarah, why are we here in Melbourne, Florida at Kelly Ford?
So basically we're here to get a content overload. Pictures, videos, socials, basically everything. So we're up from Pennsylvania where it's a little cold right now. We're down, yeah, it's a little crazy. We're down here enjoying the warmth, but since we're not here that often, we gotta get as much content as we can.
Thank you very much. And first of all, I'd like to shout out Sembu Distribution Your Way, which is our sponsor of this episode. So if you're a video library owner and you're creating a library or growing your library and you're looking to deploy your own Netflix environment, click the link below. And now I'd love to welcome our guest, Mr. Hunter Head, General Sales Manager of Kelly Ford. Welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Awesome. So my first question is, last year was your 50th anniversary. And so that year was a whirlwind. I know it went by pretty quick, but just for our audience and the listeners that are out there, walk us through what that 50th year meant to the community, to your partners, to the families. I know this is a family-owned dealership, and then the community at large.
It was really more the starting line than the finish line.
Yep.
It's more of that last year was more of a revival for us than it was a celebration of the past. It was, everything that we've done really, really well for these 50 years and all of the community involvement that we've had, bringing that forward with us and then bringing forward a new culture and a new way of looking at things and a new way of running this business that benefits our customers and it benefits our community.
Sure. And I know one of the things that you guys do, and you're talking about the future, what's that next 50 years look like to you guys right now? Like, what do you look forward for this year and beyond?
Really just growing the relationship with our customers already. And, I've said it before, but when you walk into this dealership, it feels like home, but yet it's large enough and big enough to service anyone in the state of Florida and thereabouts the entire United States. And so I want it to still feel like that family dealership 50 years down the line. But if I was a betting man, I would say we're going to be in a totally different place in the next 50 years.
Yeah, awesome. So, just looking at the inventory here, your inventory is second to none. Look at this great Shelby right here. And you just mentioned, people coming from not only Brevard County to buy a car, but maybe even nationwide. Walk our audience through what's the process of purchasing a car, not only locally but from the region and beyond.
So we do try to carry some of the most incredible inventory. Not only in this area but all areas really. You've got the Super Snake, as you mentioned, behind us. We've got a custom truck center that we do just some of the most amazing things, some of the craziest builds you can imagine. We tailor to customers who want to customize their own vehicle, that want to put their own vision, their own spin on it. We're happy to do that. We've got a lot of good partners in this area that can really, make your dream come true with a vehicle.
Okay, that sounds awesome. So this is more tailored to like my own age group. So as you know, I'm a student at Kutztown University. I'm going to graduate soon. Would you guys have any type of programs now or in the future for students or future grads?
We do. Ford actually has a first-time buyer program that tailors specifically to, first-time buyers, college students. They've also got your leasing programs, your Flex Buy program, and essentially the Flex Buy came to be because of college students, right, on a fixed income, limited budget that need a reliable vehicle to get to and from college and home. But may not have all the money in the bank just yet to be able to buy what they want. So absolutely. We're definitely here to help college students and similar.
Awesome. Thank you.
So just to follow up a little bit on the different programs that are out there, and I know, this space to sell cars is becoming more and more competitive. You have a lot of different people specifically. Now I know you have the full line of Ford automobiles, you have this certified pre-owned, you have the Kelly Risk-Free program. But tell us about, I know you guys are creating a new buying center. And I know the community would love to learn more about what does that mean in terms of coming in and possibly selling their car or coming in and getting a good trade value for your program.
Yeah, so with our risk-free program and especially our certified program, the need to have a vehicle that you know where it came from, you can trust the previous owner and see everything that they've done, especially if they service with us. I have that list of all the things that have been done to that vehicle, which makes the reconditioning process and getting that vehicle safe and ready for the next customer that much easier, and that much more cost effective. um, as the market is changing, the auction prices and, it's getting a little bit out of hand.
Mhm.
And by creating a buying center here, we're able to cut out that middleman, cut out those extra fees. And, even if I do spend that extra amount of money, I'd rather give that to our customers, give that back to the community,
Yeah, sure.
and not to a shipping cost or a fee for doing business.
Mhm.
It goes right into the pocket of our customers.
Now, I know another thing that the Kelly organization is really proud of is the live market pricing process that you guys have for all of your vehicles, all of your pre-owned and certified vehicles. Can you walk the community about that program as well? How does the live market pricing help them and benefit them as consumers?
So we take all the guesswork out of it. We do the comparisons, we shop the market, and we try to maintain the best valued vehicle of its type in the market with similar features, similar miles.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, I just want to segue a little bit on going back to the importance of community. Now, I know, throughout the year you have Toys for Tots. Can you tell us a little bit more about the different community programs that you guys are involved with month in and month out or quarterly?
So next we have coming up is a food drive, to help with the homeless situation here in Brevard, getting together food bags for the less fortunate. That's going to be within the next few weeks here. We're going to start doing that. You're also going to see a drop box if anybody's willing to donate. Um, Either hygiene products or food, non-perishables, anything like that that they can give back to people in need. We'll be collecting that for them. Actually, it'll be right across the street here where we'll be setting that up. Then we've got the rodeo coming up. The
Nice.
rodeo is going to be huge. We had a really successful turnout last year in Vieira, um, and we're doubling down. It's going to be something to see. Aside from that, we've got our partnership with Ford's Garage, doing some big things with them, Space Coast Cars and Motorcycles. Both of those guys, Tony and Joe, have been absolutely phenomenal. Real Kingdom Media, as far as all of us coming together to come up with ways that we can give back, and that's really all that it's about. So we do the Toys for Tots with Ford's Garage. We also did it with our own people here. Um, and just really anything we can get involved in, and I'm all for it.
That sounds like so much fun, especially the rodeo.
The rodeo is a good time.
Speaking of like giving back, do you have any programs for like our veterans, anyone in the military, anything like that?
Absolutely, yeah, we definitely work very well with our veterans and our military. Ford has its own incentives for military. We have our own incentives for pre-owned vehicles. Just anything. Again, those guys sacrificed everything for us. We want to make sure that when they get here, they feel welcomed and they feel appreciated for what they've sacrificed.
Oh, that's awesome, awesome. I mean, I come from a military family, so that's great to hear from. Walk us through, a lot of, the general public may not know that you service all makes and models. Walk us through that process as well in terms of, coming in for maybe a quick lube, an oil change, or how does the service division work here for the local community?
Well, so we've been in business here for 50 years, but any given day you go back into our service bays and you've got over 100 years of experience back there. I mean, those guys, we've got master technicians. We can work on RVs, large trucks, heavy equipment. I mean, you name it, we can probably work on it. And on the rare chance that we can't, we know where to get it to
Sure.
make sure you're taken care of.
Definitely, definitely. With that said, talk to us a little bit about. I know you guys are also really looking to work on a trade assistance program as well. How does that work for a person who may need some assistance in trading their car in for a new pre-owned, brand new, or certified?
Well, really just trying to kind of reset the table, after COVID and, the shortages of inventory and everything that we went through, during that time period. Some people aren't in the best situations. Some people aren't in an equity position anymore. So the trade assistance is really it's trying to reset the clock a little bit, give these people, put them back on top. So we're going, 3,000, 4,000 above KBB values on those trades, and really just trying to make it an easy transition. And not only that, but set yourself up for later in the future, and really leaning heavily on our Kelly trade cycle to kind of just clear the slate and get you putting back in a good situation.
Awesome. So you guys seem to have like a lot of different programs going on. Are there any programs that you want to make like more public that you want more people to know about?
Really, the Kelly trade cycle and the lease with Ford is something that I think that a lot of people get a bad rap for what a lease really is and what it does. But
If you don't mind, can you break down the Kelly trade cycle a little bit more again for our viewers and listeners?
so
Walk us through that
it's
process.
a 24 or 36-month lease. Oftentimes, it's got incentives of its own, and really, especially for our customers that. A misconception is, well, I drive too many miles to lease. You always hear that. I drive too many miles. I can't lease. I don't want to pay that penalty. Um, but in the grand scheme of things, if you purchase your vehicle and you put 80,000 miles on it, the depreciation hit that you take for that is twice the amount of the 20 cents per mile that you'd pay if you went over on your lease, right? And then not only that, but it puts you more in control. If you get to a point, you get to the end of your lease and you love the car and you come back and you get the evaluation, hey, here's what your car is worth. If it's worth more than it is to buy, then you buy it, and now you're in equity. If it's worth less, you walk away from it, and you don't get hit with that massive hit, whatever that may be.
Exactly, exactly. And I mean, sometimes that misconception of a lease versus buy. I mean, the great thing about using the Kelly trade cycle is you can get more car for a better value as well at times, like you said. And if they are interested in maintaining that car, then they can come in and buy it out from you, and you'll sit down and go over the numbers and everything.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Walk us through a little bit about, because I've been seeing some really cool pictures that have been coming up. I mean, we just got out of the holiday season about 60 days ago. You guys look like you had a fantastic holiday party for the employees and everything. Walk us through that. Walk us through that process, because you guys were all duded up, man. You were looking sharp. I
Oh,
saw
yeah.
the suit. You guys, a lot of you guys looked really sharp. Walk us through that event, that
Yeah.
party.
I had to remind my wife I can clean up every once in a while,
Yeah,
right?
nice, nice.
But no, it was great. And the Kellys, they're just an absolutely phenomenal organization to work for. They really give back to their employees. They promote from within. They stand by their employees and their customers. And they just wanted to have an event that it gave some appreciation for all the work that our team has done over the year, and highlight some of the future plans that we have, and get everybody rowing on the same side of the boat, so to speak.
Sure, awesome. I mean, this is our business edition, so I would love to ask, what was your process like, getting into the auto industry, and where did it start from? Where did it first? How did you become passionate about it, and what's your medium and long term goal personally as you grow into this industry?
Well, so I started in health, actually, and
Okay.
athletic medicine was my background. Had no sight of being in the car business whatsoever. But I enjoyed helping people. I enjoyed making people's lives better, and I carried that with me throughout all of my path through the car business. I got into sales, just started selling Fords. Actually, was the first brand I stuck with. I was raised on Ford. I grew up blue oval, so this is just what made sense to me. And my dad, that was always his truck of choice. The F Series. He always had one in the driveway, so it's just something that resonated with me. Went through sales for a number of years. Went through finance. Had the opportunity to work on the desk, and then ended up with the opportunity to run my own team, and only plan for more in the future.
Congratulations on that.
Appreciate it.
Wow, that is definitely a big switch.
It is, yeah.
So you see a lot of different cars come through here every day, every week, every month, I'm sure. Do you have any personal favorites? Any ones you could see yourself buying in the future, or just ones you'd love in your dreams?
Well, there's definitely always that itch for the Super Snake, Mustang, Shelby Mustang, right? I got a special place in my heart for the GT350. But I'm a truck guy. I'm an F250, F350 diesel. Um, that's that's me.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, my car in my youth, I had a 1995 Cobra R. There was only 250 of them made. It didn't have a back seat, no radio, the crank windows, no air, no AC, and it had to stay in the garage because I was a little bit of a speed demon. But looking at the Shelby compared to my Cobra R, what a difference!
Oh,
And
yeah.
I know one of the things that we were talking about off camera that I think is really exciting, especially with, again, this being the business edition. The F Series obviously is the number one selling truck year in, like, what, 30 years straight, probably, if not more.
Yep.
Tell us about some of the other truck lines, and I know the Ranger is another truck that has some really great incentives right now. But from a business perspective, a lot of people can use that truck as an entry-level truck to start their beginning business, maybe doing something. Walk us through the Ranger and how that's also expanding the footprint of the truck line here at Kelly Ford.
Yeah, I mean, the capabilities of the Ranger is honestly, it's more than what people think. It's an entry level truck, but it's got the towing and the horsepower to really handle almost anything you want to throw at it. The capabilities as far as off road, on road, towing, fuel economy, um, all of those things, the Ranger excels at. And actually, my sales manager this morning had to point out because he drives one. He said that the Ford Maverick is the 2026 truck of the year.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a little bias on that.
Yeah, it's interesting. Our lead video producer over here, he owns a Ford Maverick. So, and actually, he bought a Ford Maverick, and it also made me buy a truck. So we're all truck members over here as well. Um, you know, One other thing I want to get back to is this. Talk to us about the sit-down consultation. I think a lot of times people just go online and they think, for the most part, you can do a lot of things online, and that's a good place to start. But I know that your job and how much you take pride in it is really sitting down and walking a customer through the options of what's really going to help them find the best value, and walk us through that process. What is a sit-down consultation, and how does that benefit a consumer and a client in today's a business world?
Well, I mean, everybody's situation is different, and there's not just one way to buy a car, and one way that one particular customer buys their car may not be the way that works for our next customer. And so the sit down is all about putting that together, understanding our customers' needs, understanding their financial situation, and giving them the best option that's not only going to make sense for them today, but it'll make sense for them down the road.
Awesome. And I know, we're learning more about the Space Coast uh, area down here, and I know you partner with the Space Coast magazine, and I know you've partnered with the Space Coast Chamber of Commerce. What does it mean to be part of the Space Coast in particular, and how many engineers and different people of different walks of life come to the Kelly family to purchase their vehicle?
I feel like the dealership kind of mimics the vibe of the town. When I first moved here, I came from Texas, little small town in Texas, and I just stumbled across Melbourne, and it gave me that tight knit, homey feeling that I was used to growing up with, and I love that about this. But then as the Space Coast continues to boom and grow, I think it's kind of important to retain some of that hometown tight knit community vibe. Not to say that people that come here won't feel welcome, but they assimilate into this community, and it's kind of, we're all growing together.
Yeah.
And picking up other businesses along the way with us, and helping them flourish as well. It's exciting to be a part of.
Cool. And how far does that Space Coast really, what's the footprint from north to south? Like if you had to give us like the town, the geography.
I mean, really, you've got Titusville down to Grant, Sebastian. That's all going to be within that Space Coast community. And the neat part about Melbourne is you can get to any of the hot spots in Florida with a couple hours drive, and you're there.
Sure, sure. Awesome. Well, listen, it was a pleasure talking with you today. This is a wonderful dealership. So if you're looking for a car, a new vehicle, a pre-owned vehicle, go to kellyford.com or click the video link here within the player. And until next time, keep making a difference.